Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This was my Sunday dinner, but I'm posting late, guys. So I'm going to start with one bag of mustard greens. I'm going to wash them really good. Take out those thick stalks. And then about 2 turnip roots. I peeled those, cut them up, and wash them really good. I'm going to add those to this bag of mustard greens. I thought I had turnip greens, but it's okay, guys. They are all in the same family. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was really good. All right, guys, so what I'm doing is I'm taking out those thick stalks like right here. And there are some when you buy bag greens that are a little yellow or brownish, so I'm just taking all that out, guys. So I'm using some turkey bacon and some onions. I'm going to saute that in probably about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to let that cook for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Then I'll come back and add the greens and the turnip roots to the pot. Also in this video, I'm going to make macaroni and cheese, sweet potato cornbread, fresh green beans, and I'm going to cook some spots fresh out of the ocean. So those are my green beans that I'm going to make, guys. I had to kind of decide which cornbread mix I was going to use in my sweet potato bread. I was going to use this Jiffy vegetarian, but I ended up using the Dollar Tree cornbread mix. It is really good, guys. So I'm still gathering some of my ingredients together. And don't mind my refrigerator, guys. My door is a little full. You might say it's a little junky, but trust me, I use those items. So that is the Dollar Tree cornbread mix right there. I ended up using that one over the Jiffy. Don't get me wrong, I still like Jiffy, but this mix is really good. And I had family over and they really enjoyed the meal. I shared it with my aunt. She really enjoyed it. Along with that lemon pound cake that I made. I'm going to post that video right after I finish posting this one. It was the box cake, a cake hack, and I made it on the bakery style. It was really good. Well, it's a lemon cream cheese pound cake. Sorry about that. All right, so this is the rest of the greens. I'm going to add the turnip roots now. This is vegetable stock to make sure I got enough liquids. So guys, the mustard greens and the turnip roots were really flavorful. Just make sure you add good seasonings to your food. The only thing I'm doing is I'm just sharing with you the way I do it and the seasonings that I use. You know, nothing too extravagant, just basic seasonings. Sometimes I like to get a little mixture and I like to try different seasonings. All right, so now I'm gonna put my water on to boil my macaroni noodles. So I'm adding a little salt to the water. And my pasta is cooking. And you want to cook that al dente because you don't want to overcook it because it still has to cook in the oven. I'm going to use this in my macaroni and cheese. The cheddar cheese. And I'm using 1/2 box, about 8 ounces. So I'm going to only use half of can of that cheddar cheese that's in the Campbell can. So I'm going to drain my pasta here, let it cool. Check on my greens, just move them around in the pot, season them up. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, no salt kinders, which is really good. It's a seasoning blend. And I like this tomato and chives, I think. That's the name of it. I got that from the TJ Maxx. They have very good seasonings in the bag where they have a lot of different seasonings and preserves and different food items in the bag. They really do. And I get a chance to go in there sometimes and pick up a few. All right, so I'm going to let these simmer. Now I'm going to make this macaroni and cheese. This was really good, guys, really creamy. All right, so I'm adding 1/2 stick of butter. I'm going to let my butter melt. While it's melting, I'm washing my green beans. I just kind of cut them up. And here's where I'm using some of the cheddar cheese mix. I really think this made my mac and cheese a little more creamier. So I'm going to season this up. I like to make sure I have enough black pepper in my mac and cheese. So I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to start out with the evaporated milk. I ran out of the evaporated milk and I ended up trying a little bit of buttermilk, guys. It really worked. So I'm going to crack my 2 eggs. And I'm going to add those. Now I'm going to add 1/8 ounce block of cheddar, sharp cheddar cheese. You can use the one of your choice. And I have a bag, 8 ounce bag. I'm going to use half of that, maybe not quite half, in this mix. And I'm going to save some for the top. I probably ended up using 1/3 of the bag. Now this is where I realized I needed more liquids. And I ran out of the milk, the canned milk, the evaporated milk. And when you make your mac and cheese, guys, you want to have it a little soupy. You don't want it to be dry. So this is where I ended up using buttermilk. So I need a little more pepper. And a little more salt. And a little more of the cheddar cheese mix. So I could have buttered my pan, but I just sprayed it. I'm going to add my mac and cheese to this pan. I'm baking this on 400. All right, so now I'm going to add some foil to the top. I'm going to put it in the oven and let it bake. This baked for about 35-40 minutes. Then I took my cover off and I added that cheddar, sharp cheddar, the shred to the top, put it back in and let it just melt. So my greens are done. All right, so now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna make this sweet potato cornbread. So I baked some sweet potatoes. I think it was a couple days, and I had some left over, so I just took 2 of those. They were small, and I broke them up. I'm adding some date syrup. You can add sugar if you like. I did want this really sweet, and I added a little cinnamon and ginger. And guys, this came out really good. I added 2 eggs. And again, I added some buttermilk, maybe about 1/3 of a cup, maybe a 1/2 cup. So now I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I had to end up adding a little more after I added the cornmeal mix in, the cornbread mix in. I'm adding 1/2 stick of melted butter. So I chose to use the Dollar Tree cornmeal mix instead of the Jiffy, and it came out really good, guys. I'm going to bake this in the oven alongside with the mac and cheese. And when this baked, I didn't even have to cut the broiler on to brown it. It just cooked up real nicely. So I had to add a little more buttermilk and make sure it is the right consistency. And this is what I was looking for, because it has the right texture. So that is my sweet potato cornbread, guys. All right, so I'm just smoothing it out and I'm putting it in the oven now. All right, so I put my fresh green beans in the pot with some onion, a little onion, and some seasonings. Again, I'm using the no salt, but I did add a little salt along with garlic powder, onion powder. Use your favorite seasonings. Some olive oil, and I just added a little bit of stock. All right, so next I'm gonna clean these fish, wash them and rinse them really good. I'm gonna let the water drain off, then I'll put them in a bowl and block them with paper towel. I can get them really, really dry. And then they'll be ready for the hot oil, guys. So right back here in this pot, I am boiling some water. Half a pot of water, about 1/2 to 1/3 cup of white vinegar. And that usually kills the fish frying odor in the house. It has worked for me many times. So I'm going to be deep frying the fish in peanut oil. My oil get hot. So my green beans are ready. Here is my sweet potato cornbread and the mac and cheese. This came out really, really good, guys. And the mac and cheese was very yummy, guys. Very good. All right, guys, so now my oil is hot. The first fish I'm gonna fry is going to be the flounder. This is the one that I bought from the store. So I'm gonna let that fry. It came out really good. This is the way my aunt likes her fish, not fried real hard. So I made sure I did hers first. All right, so I'm gonna take this one up. I let it fry maybe about 4 to 5 minutes. And it came out really good. So there is the flounder. So next I'm going to fry the spots. And these are pretty big, so I'm going to fry one at a time. I'm using the Zatarans. And I'm going to bread it really good because you want to make sure you got enough breading on it. Some people like to add salt and pepper before they add it to the breading, but I just use the breading because it has enough seasoning in it to our taste. It's, it's enough. And I don't like it real salty. I think the camera was off when I dropped this one, but I'll drop another one. I like my fish kind of crispy, and the majority of my family like that fish crispy. But my aunt, she's 89, but as long as I knew her, she always liked her fish soft fried, not hard. This is the next one, and then I'll fry the other ones, a couple of the other ones later. So yeah, guys, make sure your oil is real hot. You can use vegetable oil if you got it, or canola, but I like the peanut oil because it really fries really good fish and chicken at a high temperature. So that was the fish. So now I'm gonna make this plate. This is going to be my thumbnail, and this is my aunt's plate. So there are the mustard greens with the turnip roots. The mac and cheese was so good, guys. Oh my goodness. There it is. So they're the green beans, the flounder, and I'm gonna add the sweet potato cornbread, which is amazing. I think I'm gonna have to make that again too. And then I gave her a side of the lemon cream cheese pound cake that I baked on Saturday. And guys, this was the meal. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And be blessed, guys.